As what we are facing, it is the biggest menace of a cardiovascular disease at this moment. Uh, it is a first leading cause of death. If you look at the global data as well as the Indian data, highest mortality is because of CV mortality. So, and to our surprise, what we are facing now is in young death. Just recently today, one fellow came me, one gynecologist from Botad, I guess. He died while jogging. He's a 32-year-old male. He got angina. He just sat down and angina got relieved, and again he started jogging, and he developed a massive MI and expired. So 32-year-old health conscious gynecologist. So this is what we are seeing is in young mortality. So prevention of CV mortality is the biggest challenge on whole of the world. And if you look at the risk factors, diabetes, lipids, hypertension, as well as various thrombotic events. We also have some few demographic and genetic possibilities of developing young deaths in Asian populations. But preventable risk, that is the biggest challenge for whole the country as well as whole the nation and whole the world. If you look at the CV risk factors, to our surprise, almost 60% of those who develop coronary events have only one or even none of the traditional risk factors. So that is the biggest thing. And if we look at those lipids profile, if we see a CV stroke or a young MI, if you look at his lipid profile on presentation, it is never a high lipids. So what is the thing which causes or which prones for a CV mortality? So there are so many things. Now the things are being changed. Even if you look at the US FDA, American College of Cardiology guidelines, now they are forcing more towards the risk factor evaluation. They are forcing lifestyle modification, because that is the biggest thing which we can achieve uh, to prevention of all CV mortality, hypertension, diabetes, and dyslipidemia. And from various studies, it has been shown that HSCRP, basically it is a C-reactive protein, which is correlating with all CV risk. Normally, to measure the CV risk, we have a Framingham risk score, and from that we can predict 10 years CV risk. And they have seen that even CRP level also correlates with the number of risk factors. So it is a simple biochemical parameter from which we can predict, and also correlate with the LDL cholesterol. So for prevention, that one of the target is C-reactive protein, which is a biomarker of inflammation. So if we can do something in the inflammatory pathways, if we can block somewhere the inflammation and prevents the atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease, we can achieve so many more things. CDC and prevention and AHA also has said that this HSCRP also helps in evaluation therapy in primary prevention of cardiovascular disease. And later on 2010 as well as 2013 guidelines also forced that use of HSCRP for stratifying the high risk patients in atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. So if you look at the pathology, what happens in inflammation and atherosclerosis, basically with all these lifestyle disease, lifestyle high risk factors, what it leads to in a vessel lumen, basically this high LDL cholesterol, it goes down. The commonest basic pathophysiology for a development of atherosclerosis is first is vascular permeability, vasodilatation of lumen. It becomes affected. That is the first hallmark of atherosclerosis, and because of that, that this LDL comes from this endothelial lining of a vessel wall. It comes into the intima, where it gets oxidized, and that is the trigger for development of a whole atheroma, fatty plaque, fibrous cap, uh, and fibrous streak formation. So this oxidized LDS again it activates the monocyte and activates the macrophage, and from that these all inflammatory pathways gets activated. Various cytokines and inflammatory mediators get stimulated because of this oxidized aldehyde mediated activation of macrophage. And from this NF-κB pathway gets activated, which releases various inflammatory mediators and also stimulates the platelet and make them more thrombogenic. It also forms the foam cells. Foam cells initially is for the prevention of reduces this inflammation, but when foam cells increases more and more, it gets ruptured, and again more and more oxidized LDL get released and stimulates the whole cascades. Another pathway which gets stimulated is dendrite cell mediated kynurenine pathway. But again, what all these inflammatory mediators stimulates adhesion molecules, and which is the hallmark and which is the potentiator of all atherosclerotic process. Kynurenine pathway is a little protective. It releases the 3-hydroxy-anthranilic acid from the tryptophan metabolism, and which helps in a defense against inflammation. So what we have to prevention of this atherosclerosis, at this moment we have 3 markers. One, at the vessel lumen we are using statins, which gives an anti-inflammatory and reduces the LDL cholesterol. Second, where we can act is an antiplatelet, which we are routinely prescribing aspirin. And third pathway is PPAR gamma mediated, where we are using thiazolidine diones. So these are the 3 drugs currently available for prevention of CV disease, reduces inflammation, atherosclerosis, and improve the CV mortality. But we need more and more drugs to act on different areas. So another area of target is this macrophage mediated activation of NF-κB. If you can do there something that also reduces inflammation in a long term. And second is dendritic cell mediated activation of kynurenine pathway, 3HA mediated action. So again we have seen this what NF-κB initiated process. This is whole inflammatory cascade, how it works, and where this prevention of activation of NF-κB causing reduction in inflammatory pathways and reduction in atherosclerotic process. So again, it's a curcumin. Already we have seen Dr. Rao has excellently told about its inflammatory role in various arthritis. There are various studies also have been done of a role of curcumin in MIs, especially it reduces anginal episodes post CABG. It significantly reduces the cholesterol, as well as it has a role in reduction of sugars and HbA1c. But still it requires lots of study, lot of phase studies are still awaited for its approval. Another is activation of kynurenine pathway, where 3-hydroxy-anthranilic acid is another potential target which has an anti-atherosclerotic effect. I'll be just keeping it as it has been shown to various modulation of various genes, which helps in improvement of reduction in atherosclerosis, reduction in plasma cholesterol, triglycerides. It has been shown to reduce atherosclerosis significantly by reducing the infiltration of CD4 cells. So there are various studies. Here it also shows a 3HA effect on atherosclerosis by significantly reducing inflammation in a histopathology as well as in a CT angio, where it reduces atherosclerotic plaques. So in summary, we have 2 options available. One is 3HA, an intermediate metabolite of kynurenine pathway. It has the following significant effects: reducing lipids and reducing vascular inflammations. And there are also other novel pathways which are being understudied right now. One of them is succinylbucol, SPLA2 lipoprotein mediated phospholipase A2, and so many are undergoing research. So I'll conclude that still we have a high risk people in our country as well as in the world with lesser risk factor and still having a severe mortality. So we need to develop some strategy. We need to have more drugs which will reduce the development of atherosclerosis and atherosclerosis mediated CV mortality. Thank you.